Welcome back to another video on Excellent Sports. And the NHL Stanley Cup has just wrapped up. My second straight year watching hockey, and back-to-back years, the Florida Panthers have won the NHL Stanley Cup. Although this is their third straight appearance, their second one back-to-back, as I said. And they're up 5-0 as I'm recording this. Game 6 is not over yet, but it's 4:42 left. And I'm getting this out the way now so I can have it up as soon as possible. But yeah, I done made the shorts about the series, made the poster throughout the playoffs at the NHL. It's been a fun season. It's been some great games. And this series itself had some good games. It was a few blowouts like this game, like Game 3 and Game 5, which was the games where the Panthers came up clutch and got two crucial wins. But the way the series got started with the Oilers winning 4-3 in overtime, really exciting start to the series. Then you had the Panthers. He had the Panthers winning 5-4 in double overtime, a game that needed the first NHL Stanley Cup Finals game to go to double overtime, if I'm not mistaken. And that was when Leon Draisaitl had one of his 4-game winners of the playoffs and one of his 2-game winners in the finals. Had Florida get a win 6-1 in Game 3, in a game they just dominated from start to finish. But they were at home this game, so they definitely needed this and were able to go up 2-1. Then you had another overtime game, which was the third overtime game in the series, which the Oilers would win 5-4. So that was 5-4 overtime win, like 3 overtime games in this series out of 6. Like, it's been very fun, despite half of the games being blowouts and being in the half of the games being blowouts. The other 3 games were so great that it kind of outweighs the blowouts, and the blowouts was actually timed perfectly, because within those first 4 games, there was only one blowout, and the Panthers being able to win that game 6-1, led behind Leon Draisaitl, led behind Sergio Bobrovsky, and what they were able to do to go up 2-1 in the series. And then Game 5, the Panthers win 5-2. So now they're back at home with a chance to win the series. So we get to the game now, which is now 5-1. But from start to finish, they dominated this game. This Game 6. Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Reinhart, they both scored in the first period. Were able to go 1-0. 2-0 to end the first period. And Siratu Skinner, he was back in the starting lineup because Calvin Pitcher, he started last game, didn't pan out, and he came in the game before that, and they were able to get the win, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were able to get the win in Game 4 when he came in, but then when he started last game, they did end up losing. So they brought Siratu Skinner back in, who had a pretty disappointing series. Even Sergio Bobrovsky allowed a lot of goals, but he still had over 90% save percentage. He was around 91. While Siratu Skinner was at 86, which is why Calvin Pitcher had to play, but it didn't make much of an effect because he was still getting up goals himself. It was better off to stick with Siratu Skinner, and Siratu Skinner was benched once again, benched 2 or 3 times in this series, in this final series, and you can't have that in the final series of the season, the most important series of the season. And then as far as it comes to shots on goals, the Oilers won it in each period, in the first period and the second period, but they only won about 1. Like, Florida did a really good job keeping up with them in terms of shots on goal. And even though they have 4 less at the moment, they still got some quality looks. They had Sam Reinhart had a hat trick to get a goal. And I think throughout these playoffs, Sam Reinhart became one of my favorite players throughout these 2 seasons I've been watching. Leon Draisaitl, he had multiple game winners for the Oilers in this series. I think I mentioned the Panthers earlier. No, his game winner wasn't Game 1 and Game 1 and Game 4. When Leon Draisaitl had the game winners, had 2 in those games, 2 in the finals, first to ever do that. Then he had 4 throughout the playoffs, which is the most. So Leon Draisaitl had a really good series. He only had an assist today. He wasn't much of an impact in this game that they played in this Game 6. And yeah, And like I said, for the Panthers, Sam Reinhart, 4 goals today out of their 5. Very crucial, very important. Played a great role. Just played great throughout these playoffs. Matthew Tkachuk has been really good in the final season, stepping up. I think he even gave him Athlete of the Week not too long ago. And Sergio Barbowski only giving up 1 goal, having a 96 save percentage, being able to play all of this game. He was benched in one game in the series, but it only happened once. You know that doesn't usually happen. But he still had a good series. He was still at around 91, 92% when it comes to save percentage. And the Panthers win once again. It looks like the dynasty in the making. And went to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals that were just won back to back. As the game is narrowing down now with 45 seconds left. I mean, it was a great season from both of them. Like both of these teams were around 4-5 in their respective conferences, and they still were able to make it far. The Panthers win back-to-back championships. I had fun watching hockey this season, get some hockey content out. So make sure y'all leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts, and congratulations to the Florida Panthers on becoming back-to-back Stanley Cup winners.